Okay, Stephen, we've arrived here in Derry with this fantastic temple behind us. What a fantastic symbol of peace.
Well, it's amazing the intricacy of some of that work up there, you know, the creativity. So it's very exciting as a structure, and astonishing really that it won't be burned. But then, you know, that's important for Derry and the traditions on this island where, you know, bonfires and burning is annually celebrated. So I suppose that's symbolic of a lot of the past going up in flames. All that work and all that exciting creativity will be disappearing, and that's the kind of pain they're going through as different communities on the island of Ireland have to face the fact that their own history is being diminished as other people's histories have come to the fore. So I think it's full of symbolism, and it's very exciting and radical idea, and very interesting.
And you've been coming over here for more than 20 years now since the Warrington bombing. What changes have you seen?
Well, I suppose those relationships, because when I first came over here a few months after the bombing with the town centre clergy group of Warrington, you know, we stayed in different communities. I stayed in the Bogside with a Republican family where a couple of lads who'd been members of the IRA had died, had been killed, one of them blown up by their own bomb. So I mean, that was an extraordinary experience for me, you know, as a Cheshire Warrington man, you know, who's married to someone from a local family in Northern Ireland of the Protestant tradition. So suddenly to be immersed in a community where they had very different political and religious ideas was very good as a learning experience. And we talk a lot about peace, but that is about listening to other people who are strangers to us, and putting ourselves in the shoes of others and learning from them. And that's been the experience of Warrington, of course, over the years. That's why we've been able to be a place of reconciliation, because we've been willing to listen to those who have other points of view, and that's increasingly happening in this city where, you know, the bridges across the river illustrate the joining of two different communities with very different histories and backgrounds.
And with Nick Taylor from the Peace Centre. Nick, how symbolic is this Temple of Peace?
I think it's hugely symbolic. I can't believe the size and scale of it. The fact it stood over here looking over a city that has faced so many traumas in its lifetime, the fact that it's got a spire on it, and actually it's in line with two other spires in the city, both of the Catholic Cathedral and the Protestant Cathedral, I think says so much. This is an area that the city hopes to turn into a park, but it's an area that's been a no-go place for many people, and so it does symbolise the conflict that's taken place, but also the hope for peace as well. And we from Warrington today have brought something symbolic as well to add to the temple, and I think that's very special for us as we face the 22nd anniversary of the bombing in Warrington. And
this symbolic item is?
Well, what I've got here is some wood which is taken from the Peace Tree. That's a tree that's in the gardens of the Peace Centre in Great Sankey. It was planted on the 10th anniversary of the Warrington bombing, so that symbolises earth, one of the elements of life. We're going to be putting some water in here. We've collected water from the River of Life sculpture in Bridge Street, which is the fountain there where the Warrington bombs took place, and we're mixing that with water that we've just taken from here in Derry. So that's symbolic of that water is the same at its essence, and so are we as human beings. And then on Saturday, the two other elements of life, will combine with fire for combustion when this thing is actually burnt, and we're going to have 30 people that are on one of our Peace Centre courses coming over here on Saturday to bear witness to that as well. So really symbolic of our hopes for reconciliation, which is Warrington's at the forefront of, and for peace as well. So I think you want to go on either side of it. Just pour the water in.
All of it, will it hold it?
As much as you can get to, I think. Even if it overspills, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Very good. Rivers of
Just
life.
keep pouring so people can get the...
And with artist David Best, the man behind the inspiration behind the temple. What was the inspiration, David?
Okay, the physical inspiration is that you have to build a structure big enough to accommodate the population. The inspiration behind it is to make it something so beautiful and so delicate that a woman that's been raped can come in and forgive the rapist, and so strong that it can hold and support the rape. So what that means is my inspiration is to make something that opens the door for someone to forgive.
And what does it mean to you that a delegation from Warrington have actually come over to see this piece of work?
Well, if you were an artist and you were making, if you were a cook and you were making a meal, and one of the best audiences came to eat that meal, you'd feel pretty honored. If you were an artist and you built a temple, and people who represent a community that was blown up and killed, that's come over to bring peace and to work toward peace, you'd be pretty doggone honored. So how do I feel? God, grateful. I feel grateful that you're here.